What's up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. I was jamming to the groove there. How's everybody doing? I am Rockin Robbie Billups here for Pop Culture Philosophers, presenting another Talkin' Comics Live. Tonight, our special guest is going to be Comics with Bueller. That will be at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock Central Time. Bueller's off to Taco Bell now because, yeah, we having a chalupa party. Anyway, station everybody out there. This is Talkin' Comics Live. It's the show on New Comic Book Day. So happy New Comic Book Day. Hope you got to go out to your local comic shop, pick up some great books, read some good stuff. There will be some slight spoilage tonight, possibly. Nothing super major, I'm sure, but there will be some spoilage that may slip out in the conversation. If you're new to the program or if you just don't remember, this is what we do. For the first 30 minutes, it's just me and you. And then we're joined by a guest for the last hour. And tonight that guest is Bueller from Comics with Bueller. In the meantime, I will be delivering my top 10 live in right now. So we're about to get into it. And I got to give a mad station and shout out to Brett Hess. I got y'all the exclusive Hive Comics cover for I Breathed a Body, #1. My pick of the week from last week got the beautiful Brett Hess. Brett Hess is a member, an esteemed member of the PCP Army. And Jim Mintz in the house. Heyo, how you doing, Jim? Jim's got his own stream coming up too. We got lots of people in the house, stationing, saying what's up. We got Billy in the house, Nick's in the house, lots of people. So, without further ado, I guess let's just go ahead and get into the top 10 there. Then we can just start chatting about today's comics. It was a really cool week, some solid stuff. And I've got, in my opinion, I found this to be a rather surprising top 10. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my top 10 comic books of the week. Not a spec list, just a list of my favorite comic books for New Comic Book Day, January 27th, and I guess a little bit of 26th because that's DC. Let's get right into it. Number 10, The Eighth Immortal, #1 from Source Point Press. I was very surprised with this book. It's written by Jacob Murray with artwork by Alex Lee Barnes, Tiffany Turrell on the coloring. Or is that cover? Yep, that's covering. Anyway, the artwork was really cool. It's got a nice, like, sketchy, indie type style. The use of color was sporadic, but very thematically relevant. I really like this story. I thought it was really cool. The basic premise of this one is that there are 7 immortals on Earth. There can only be 7 for some reason, and anytime there may possibly be an 8th, well, they got to take them out. But what happens if someone survives? A really cool, solid book from Source Point Press. Like I said, the artwork was what impressed me the most, but the story was solid. The world building, the way that they introduced the concept and the characters was rather compelling. Like I said, really cool artwork. Really liked it. Number 10, The Eighth Immortal, #1. One of my co-sleeper hits of the week. At number 9, we've got Kaiju Score, #3 from Aftershock Comics. This is by James Patrick and Rem Brew. I'm really liking this. This is basically a heist story, a typical heist story done in a very efficient manner. The dialogue is very snappy. It goes back and forth. Really interesting characters, double crosses, and twists and turns abound. But what really separates this out from most other heist fiction is that it takes place during a kaiju invasion. So that's really cool. So they plan the heist around this kaiju attack. And then, of course, it doesn't go according to plan. And like I said, twists and turns, double crosses. I really like the artwork. The artwork's got an animated type style to it, but still is able to capture the emotions and the energy that's necessary. And this book has a lot of fun, doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's not overly goofy in any kind of excessive way. Number 9, Kaiju Score, #3 from Aftershock Comics. At number 8, we've got DC Future State. Superman versus Imperious Lex. This seems to be a theme, but that number 8's happen to be a Future State book. I like rhyming and alliteration. Anyway, Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex. I really like this one. It's written by Mark Russell, and it's got artwork by Steve Pugh. If you are familiar with Mark Russell's work, what he likes to do is make a commentary, but in a satirical parody type way and at times using very well-established and well-known properties. So this is at some point in the DC Future State timeline. It's a point in which Lex Luthor has said, screw it, I'm done with Earth. I'm done with Superman always getting in my way and stopping me, and I'm going to go to my own planet. And he goes and founds Lexor. But Lexor has maintained its wealth by, of course, definitely taking advantage and abusing other planetary systems in the galaxy. So then this leads to a lot of stuff involved with the United Planets and Superman and Lex, and it brings it all back. I really like this. If you're a fan of Mark Russell, I think you'll really like this one. If you don't like Mark Russell stuff, if you want this book to take itself a little bit more seriously, I think you will be disappointed. This is not your typical Superman book, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought it was pretty rad. So that's number 7. Number 7. No, that's 8. I have a biker mice from Mars. Number 1 down there. It distracted me. That should be on the top 10. But at number 8, it's Future State, Superman versus Imperious Lex. At number 7, we've got Department of Truth, issue number 5. Yes, loving the artwork in this book. This is what cements it every single time it comes out. Martin Simmons with a really great, raw, visceral style for this book that really makes it feel horror. And it's so just like, it's enveloped in it, right? It's like Dave McKean and Bill Sienkiewicz had a satanic love child, and that's what the artwork is like. And what's more astounding to me about Simmons' work on this book is that if you look at all of his other work, like books like Punk's Not Dead and Friendo and even Dying is Easy, like, yo, he adapts his style to what is necessary, and I'm loving it. Ditya Bidikar doing the exact same thing with his style with the lettering, but what James Tynion's giving us with a story in which reality is changed based on the belief of the majority. So if the majority of people believe in some crazy conspiracy theory, it starts becoming true. This is about the Department of Truth who's trying to go against that. But in this issue, it's an exposition-y issue, but because of the artwork, it's handled in a very moody and atmospheric way, and I thought a very elegant way. I really, really like this book, but now we're starting to question if the Department of Truth are quite on the up and up. And in a book that's going to be dealing on these kind of things, if it knows what it's talking about, everything's going to be shades of everything. You get what I'm saying? Department of Truth, number 5, was number 7 this week on the top 10. At number 6, we have Future State Aquaman, number 1. I was incredibly impressed with this book. The artwork was absolutely solid. I had a lot of fun with this book. It's about Jackson King, who is now the new Aquaman in the future, and Andy, the child of Mira and Arthur, is now Aqua Lass, Aqua Woman to be. But this book I had a lot of fun with. It's written by Brandon Thomas with artwork by Daniel Saint-Pierre. This was so much fun. I was not expecting much out of this book. You know, I'm a hardcore Aquaman fan, but Aquaman's been kind of disappointing me of the last few years. But this, even though it's just going to be 2 issues, this is a nice breath of fresh water, one could say, because I always have this gripe with Aquaman books that the art and the story doesn't make me feel like I'm underwater. And in this one, I felt the whole time like I was underwater, 100%. So I thought it was great. My number 6 book was Future State Aquaman. I would like to see this future explored more. I thought that this was the best and most BA had ever seen Jackson. Because I've been sold on him at times and then unsold on him at other times, but that was pretty dope. At number 5, we got Something is Killing the Children, number 14, from Boom Studios, written by James Tynion IV with artwork by Werther Della Dera, coloring by Miguel Muerto. This book is amazing. I had a lot of fun with this one. This book starts doing something a little tonally different with the coloring in the first half of this book. Then it switches back to the typical stuff at the end, but it ties in thematically to what the characters are going through and the plot of the story that's being revealed. This book has been great from the very beginning. I think that James Tynion, working with Della Dera and Muerto, that's some of the absolute best representation of a Tynion script through artwork is in Something is Killing the Children. It did not disappoint. It's got those emotional beats. It hits you in the feels when it needs to. Literally, Something is Killing the Children, every single issue, and there's a lot of action in this issue as well. At number 5, Something is Killing the Children, number 14. At number 4, it's Future State Dark Detective, number 2. I am loving Dark Detective. The artwork by Dan Mora and Jordi Belair is absolutely fan-frickin-tastic. I love my favorite idea of DC Future State is this idea of the magistrate of Gotham in the next 5 to 10 years, where they kind of become this police surveillance state, and the police force has been privatized, and they have orders to shoot masks on sight because there's all this facial recognition technology. It feels like a Philip K. Dick type influence on Gotham, and I think it's a really cool approach to this story. So I'm really excited to see it continue in next Batman as that becomes its ongoing type story. But Dark Detective to me has been the standout of Future State. It's not obnoxiously overpriced like next Batman or the Superman book, like at $7.99. It's obnoxiously overpriced at $5.99. The Red Hood story I think is pretty cool and nifty, but I didn't really quite dig on the artwork in that story. I'll show you a bit of that one. But the idea of that one is that the Red Hood is now working for the magistrate to take out other mask in the city, kind of like Harley Quinn is. But the magistrate stuff's been fascinating to me. Tamaki's been doing a great job with the script, because I think when she's paired with a really solid artist, it really helps her story flow a lot better. And Dan Mora and Jordi Belair, it doesn't get much better than this. I loved Tamara Bonvillain's coloring on Mora on Once and Future, and I loved her coloring on Nick Darrington and Next Batman #1 as kind of setting the tone for what this Neo Gotham would look like. And I get it. It's not Neo Gotham. That's Batman Beyond, right? And then they call it Neo Gotham there. Anyway, but this version of Gotham, but I think Jordi Belair's taking it to another level and doing something different, but quite still in tone with that, and I'm loving it. This, to me, has been the best story, the best artwork, the best package of DC Future State has been Dark Detective. At number 4, we've got Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job, #1. This one is written by Frank Gogol with artwork by Nenad Kitchkanen. I messed that up. Sean Reinhart on the lettering. I have a lot of fun with this book. I've read the original Dead End Kids. This has, I think, nothing to do with it except for maybe in theme and tone and the idea of what it's getting into. But you can read this on its own, even if you haven't read the other one. It's about these 3 young people who have connections and losses to 9/11. But the way that they tell the story is through the images, through powerful, impactful moments, not through a lot of exposition. This book is a breeze to read. The artwork is clean and simple, and it does exactly what it needs to do to convey the emotion and to convey the tone and atmosphere of the story. I had a lot of fun with this one, but at the same time, I was touched by it. So Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job, #1. I know we've already been hearing all these tales of it selling out and going up on the spec market or whatever, but it's also available digital. Frank Gogol and company did a great job with that one. That's my number 4 book of the week. At number 3, we've got Strange Adventures #8 from DC Black Label. This is written by Tom King with artwork by Mitch Gerrits and, of course, Doc Shaner. And we've got lettering by Clayton Cowles. I love this book, and I thought Strange Adventures #8 was probably one of the best issues of the series. It's really starting to come into focus now. What the story is truly about, the stakes that this story is going to have. And if you notice on the page there, you got Mitch Gerrits and you got Doc Shaner. That's 2 different artists on the same page with 2 completely different styles, but it flows with consistency throughout. And I think that that is an absolutely amazing feat. So you got one story in the past, one story in the future, or in the present, I should say. It's all kind of coming together. It's all reaching a peak. All the elements are hitting their climax here in issue number 8 of 12. And I'm having such a good time reading Strange Adventures. It's deep. It's a mystery. It's exciting. It's exploring things like it's exploring perspective. The idea of what is a war hero to one culture is a war criminal to another culture. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of dealing with that kind of thing. Ends justifying the means, what it means to be a sci-fi hero in the 50s. Really cool stuff. Strange Adventures #8. That's my number 2. Yeah, that's my number 2 pick of the week. Man, I messed up my numbering. I need to start putting Post-it notes on here. At number 1, though, it's Batman Black and White #2. I was so impressed with this book. It's got work by Tom King and Mitch Gerrits. It's got Sophie Campbell, Gabriel Hardman, and Karina Becco, Dustin Weaver, and David Aja. This stuff was amazing. Every single story in here blew me away. The Mitch Gerrits Tom King story was resonant. a bit cliche at times, but the way it was done felt fresh and new. The Sophie Campbell story was charming and had a quality of innocence about it that I found rather cute. I thought it was fantastic. I've been a fan of her work since I first saw her on Jim and the Holograms. The Gabriel Hardman story involving the Joker, really cool exploration on their relationship and an interesting take on that. And all of the artwork in here, they are using the black and white to maximum effect. So right there, we've got the Dustin Weaver story that I think is one of the most unsettling Batman stories I've read in a long time. And it's all because of the narrative and the way that it thematically represents and goes into the whole black and white thing. Then there's the David, I think it's Aja or Ajay or Aha. But his story was great. It's done in these like pulpy, noirish 1940s newspaper strip type styles. And it just truly tells a really great, dark, great, gritty, grounded Batman story. All in all, 5 excellent Batman stories and some pinups. Freaking fantastic. Batman Black and White, number 3. That was 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I just messed up the numbering. Recapping, so we get the numbering right. At number 10, The Eighth Immortal, number 1. At number 9, Kaiju Score, number 3. At number 8, Future State, Superman versus Imperious Lex. At number 7, The Department of Truth, number 5. At number 6, Future State, Aquaman, number 1. At number 5, Something is Killing the Children, number 14. At number 4, Dark Detective, number 2 from DC Future State. At number 3, Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job, number 1. At number 2, Strange Adventures, number 8. And at number 1, Batman Black and White, number 2. Those were my favorite comic books of the week, my 10 favorites. What are your favorites? Your top 10, your top 5, your top 3, your top 1. What's your pick of the week? Let us know in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out the video. We'll be right back here, though, for Talking Comics with Live, blah, 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 Comics with Bueller Station. Thanks for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. All right, lost it at the end. I keep questioning myself. What number am I on? Anyway, that's what I thought about the books as far as my top 10. But my pick of the week was this one. What was your favorite book if you read anything yet? Bueller will be joining us in 9 minutes, everybody. Bueller will be joining us with chalupas. How awesome is that? So how are y'all out there? Did y'all have a good new comic book day? Anybody go out and pick up their books? I like Doomsday Clock. I think it's pretty good. Cerebro says number 5 is Wolverine. Wolverine was great. I love the whole thing about Maverick. Like Maverick was one of my favorite. The whole Team X thing from back in the day. I thought Wolverine was a really solid issue this week. I think Benjamin Percy is going to be just fine on the character of Logan. I think he understands his history and what we're excited about. At least me, I'm excited about Maverick. I mean, I've been looking up that Toy Biz action figure, so that's what I'm saying. By the way, y'all, the Cerebros, great podcast focusing on the X-Men books, but also just on pop culture and comic books in general. Definitely check it out. I was recently on an episode. Perry's good, getting baked, making TikTok. What's a TikTok? Robbie Bateman's in here. Robbie from Earth 2 says Dark Detective 2, my favorite. What a great book. That one's been really, really fun. Sam, what is up? Sam says $80 worth. Glad we only find them when their dead is over for now. It was a great first issue, but the choice of color lost me. Too dark, couldn't enjoy it. I have been losing it on that book because of the coloring. There's so much like muddiness in the foreground and brightness in the background. And it's just something that I find rather hard to get into. So yeah, I'm going to reread the whole thing and then see what happens. Luther X, y'all. Wrestling superstar Luther X is in the house. What's up, my man? How you doing? Thank you for joining us live. Like I said, Bueller's going to be joining us for a chalupa party soon. He's already having a chalupa party. I can see him backstage, but we're going to be taking a break because I got to go grab my chalupas. We're taking a quick break. That's right, Luther. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back here on Talking Comics Live with a chat with Bueller about this week's new comics. So that's very exciting. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Comics Live. We're about to get into a fun conversation with Bueller from Comics with Bueller about today's new comics. And like I said, there may be some slight spoilage at times, but I don't think anything super severe that happened to be majorly spoiled this week or whatever. We already know my pick of the week was Batman Black and White #2, where I just revealed my top 10. And before we bring in Bueller for the chalupa party, I do want to point out that tomorrow night, pretty much in exactly 24 hours, David Andre will be joining us here live on the channel for a conversation. David is, of course, the writer of Resonant from Vault Comics. It's got its next issue out next week. I've read it. It's awesome, and I'm excited. Friday night, it's PCP movie night. This week, we are talking about Big Trouble in Little China. So right now, confirmed, allegedly, it's me, Brooks, Jelani, Hammer Time Holshoe, and Dylan from Dylan's Comics joining us on PCP movie night. And speaking of joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, give a big shout and warm welcome and a station to Bueller.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's
just spoil something right now. Did you see Daredevil turn into that symbiote thing? There you go. Spoilers right there.
What did you see? Typhoid Mary turn into that symbiote thing?
There you go. They all turned into symbiote things. So
everybody's turning into a symbiote thing. Go figure.
I'm
How
excited,
are you doing,
man. I got my chalupas. You know, I ate like 2 Subway sandwiches today. I'm still hungry, so this is pretty good. I had a coupon, buy one get one free, so I ate both of them.
Buy one, get one free. Well, here's to you, my man.
Awesome. What is that, a real chalupa or some knockoff?
That's a real chalupa.
From Taco Bell?
From Taco Bell.
Bullshit.
What?
That's a fakie.
That is not a fakie, brother.
Let me show you
the bag.
This is what a real one looks like.
That's a fake chalupa. What are you talking about?
But look at yours, dude. Yours looks like it's wrapped in a pancake.
Mine's cold. I don't know if that, but mine's not toasted. Are they different in Oregon? Do y'all have better chalupas?
We have better chalupa everything, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yours is a fake one, dude.
That's a real chalupa. I promise. Jay Strick gave it to me. It's great. I'll show you the bag, bro. I ain't lying. I'll show you the wrapper, everything.
All right.
I don't know what you think we do here at PCP, but one thing we do is integrity. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Okay?
You guys have a bunch of tornadoes down your way that shipped in fake chalupas for that.
That's fucked up, man. People died in those things, man. Anyway, no, it doesn't look as toasted as yours. I'll be honest. It's messed up. It is a real chalupa. Authentic. From Taco Bell. On Airport Road. So now you guys have two grown men eating chalupas and talking comics.
There you go. It doesn't get better than that, right?
Who needs coffee in comics? Who needs cannabis in comics? We got chalupa and comics here.
They all chalupa, cannabis, and coffee and comics. Oh my God. That's everything you need.
Yeah. Dude, 10,000 YouTube subscribers overnight. Guarantee you.
There you go. I think all the tags you can use for those.
People would be like, I'm really confused by this show, but I love it. I don't know what he's trying to do here. Twitch says commit to the bit. That's what we're doing. We're committing.
There is a random piece of chicken that's in my wrapper that it's not a chicken chalupa, so I don't know where this came from.
So do you actually got the seasoned beef this time and not the
I
steak?
did. I told him, I said, they didn't do it. It's chicken. It's chicken. Look at that. Look at that. It's chicken. I asked the guy. I said, seasoned beef. He's like, okay, no problem. That's twice now.
Dude, this dude's been munching on this chalupa. And he's like, yeah, it's great. And then like, really, there's a piece of chicken in here. This whole damn thing is chicken. I'll tell you what, man. I did have that chicken bacon one that they have. It's okay. But I was not a chalupa guy. But having eaten a few of them in the last week, I can see it. I can see it. I'm coming around on chalupas. So, out of everything you read, Bueller, what was your pick of the week?
I like Spawn quite a bit. I thought Spawn was good this week. And I loved how, normally when you get Spawn books, you know how they're kind of, the background's all dark and it's kind of eerie and stuff. Mm-hmm. This one was totally opposite. They were like on a beach and it was really bright and vibrant and everything. And I thought that looked really good. And then the storyline was pretty good as well. I liked the two new characters, the Omega Spawn characters. I thought he was pretty good. And then the other guy, can't remember his name, the orange guy.
Is that
he's on the very front page.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh my goodness, the something.
Yeah.
It's the monolith.
Yeah, the monolith. That guy's awesome looking, man.
Dude.
And just I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun book to read. It's kind of Spawn pretty much just, like I said, in my top 10, he just gets his ass kicked, and then the Omega Spawn just kind of telling him how it is. And there's a nice little, look at that guy. Isn't that guy awesome?
That guy's freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's huge. I'd love to get that Spawn toy. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, do you know what's coming? He designed the toy before he even drew that page.
Yeah. So I liked that one. I liked the Dead End Kids. I thought that was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. Frank, the Goal guy, he really promoted the hell out of that thing, man. He's all over social media, hitting people up and pushing it and everything.
Bro, I think literally his insistence on promoting his stuff like that, and he does such a great job of it. I think it literally causes spec on his books. Because the same thing happened with the last Dead End Kids, and the same thing happened with No Heroin.
Yeah.
Like the same thing happened. Like they sold out because it's from Source Point. So shops like 3 months ago were like, nobody's asking for this, so we'll order 2 copies or something, you know? And then he does a great job of promoting it and getting the word out there.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. I told him that too. I said, man, if every creator was as, you know, dedicated to promoting their work as you are, it would go so much further with the comics. Because, I mean, he's just literally all over the place. And he's like, this is all I've ever wanted to do, man. This is really important to me and stuff. I go, yeah, man, I can tell. So I didn't get his book today. It was sold out at the places and stuff. Actually, a friend of mine did pick one up for me that he'll give me later this week or whatnot. But I read the first one, and I read number 2 and number 3 as well. So it's all good. It's a good book.
Did you read the previous one?
I did. I enjoyed that as well.
This is a completely different cast of characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with it. You know, the first one I liked as well. It's been a while since I read it. I never did get the no heroin one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get that one, but I never found it. But hey, behind you, can you show that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, show that thing.
We were talking about it earlier, but yeah, that's the Brett Hess I Breathe the Body #1. Hype Comics exclusive. Yeah, dude. I've never bought an exclusive variant, but I had to buy one when it was a member of the PCP Army. So.
Man, I got my copy shipped out today.
Nice. And y'all did a great job of a fantastic job covering that topic. And there's his credit right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's dope. It's such a beautiful cover, man. You can just stare at it for hours.
That's his style, man. I mean, you can identify it, you know, from a mile away.
It's like if somebody read a lot of Lovecraft back in like the Middle Ages and then did some church art.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is, man. Oh, I had to put it up there. Hey, a super chat from Lee D. Wednesday dinner with Robbie and Bueller. I hope everybody's got their chalupas out there.
That should be a thing. Everyone should have their chalupas.
Yeah, everybody have a chalupa.
Yeah, just like this. I'm actually having 2 chalupas, a taco, and a burrito.
Nice. I was today at work. They were like, "So are you guys really going to eat the chalupas?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm going to ask him because I think he may be over the chalupa bit."
Well,
that's your thing lately, dude. You getting in things that you wind up just kind of being like, I regret getting into Thunderdome. I regret getting into the chalupa bit.
I didn't regret the chalupa bit. We didn't hit 1,000 likes on the other video, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's
so if we get 1,000 likes on the next one, then I'll add a chalupa.
Well, that's the one today, right?
Yeah, the preview video. So I think we got like 890 likes or something like that on last week. It'll probably end up around 1,000 when it's done. But we'll have to see about this week.
Well, you got 2 from me, homie. So
yeah, I got 2 for me as well.
O'Shea in the outdoors is eating spring rolls. That's probably the healthier choice.
There you go.
Tonight. Mine is seasoned beef.
No, I'm jealous.
Yeah, but I thought I didn't have a real chalupa.
It's not. It's a pancake chalupa.
Got some maple syrup on it.
That'd be gross.
We've done a lot of weird bits on this show. This may be one of the weirdest stretches ever.
I did a comic book mukbang. Like the first couple months I did a video.
A mukbang? What?
Yeah. It's just like when you just get together with someone and you just eat a bunch of food. And like all it was, and it's on my channel, it's the first ever, the title is the first ever comic book mukbang. And all it was me and my nephew, and we got like the 10 tacos, 10 burritos, 3 pizzas, like a whole bunch of pop and chips and everything. And we just sat there for like an hour just gorging ourselves and showing comic books for like an hour.
You had a comic book slumber party.
Pretty much, that's what it was, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was horrible. And the camera kept focusing in and out the whole time. I didn't even notice it and stuff. And then when I go to edit the video, you know, because we weren't doing it live, it looked horrible. I'm like, I ain't doing this again. because I don't want to have to eat all this food again. So I'm like, we're just sticking it out there. I don't care.
Was that in the day when like all the 10,000 calorie a day challenges were like the hype things on YouTube? I remember those.
It was something like that.
I used to watch a lot of that stuff, man. Oh, that's funny. It just made me think of a Slumber Party because me and Dylan just watched the Slumber Party movies. There's Slumber Party Massacre. Okay, so at least there's a massacre involved. Okay. But there's this one scene in part 2 where all the girls are like eating all this junk food, and it's like, like corn dogs and Cheese Whiz straight out of the can and everything. And I'm like, man, that's how I eat. That's just what we do. What do you think about the Tinian books today? So there was Department of Truth and Something is Killing the Children. What'd you think about them?
Well, I read them both. I like the Department of Truth, how they're switching some things up, how they're going the other direction. Like, hey, man, what you've been told might not be the deal. So it's almost like a conspiracy within a conspiracy within a conspiracy type thing. So it's it's the whole Inception thing, like the movie Inception, where they have to plant an idea over another idea or something like that. So that's kind of what the direction they're going on this book. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I kind of thought that's what they were going to do. As you read kind of the book, you kind of get to know the other characters. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and you really don't know if he's on the right side or if there is a right or wrong side, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty good. There's Something is Killing the Children. It was a good book, but it's kind of it's just kind of like last book as well. It did deal with more of the little puppet thing. I thought that was kind of interesting. But, like I've said before, Something is Killing the Children. It's one of my favorites, but it all takes place like over a very short period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, really think about it. We're 14, 15 books in, and maybe a week has gone by, if that, during all these, as far as like in the comic book time realm and stuff like that. So it's like,
it's kind of like a Stranger Things kind of thing where you look back on it and you're like, that really only took place over a couple days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel as though they kind of rehash a little bit of the stuff, to figure out, because she had like the kids like trying to think of like how the monsters came and stuff like that. Like that really matters, It's like, just go kill the goddamn monsters, or what's going on,
Yeah.
But I liked it. They were both pretty good. It's I probably like Department of Truth a little bit better this week.
Okay. I actually liked Something is Killing the Children better. I thought Department of Truth was good, but it was an info dump type issue, right? Where they're giving you a lot of information, but like the artwork by Simmons just is so amazing, right? And I keep saying this, but it's like Dave McKean and Bill Sienkiewicz had a satanic love child, would be what his style looks like on this book. And I love it. But Something is Killing the Children I like, because I noticed Miguel Muerto, he uses a lot of cool colors with splotches of red. That's been throughout the whole series. But in the opening of this, when they're dealing with the puppet, the imaginary, and kind of on the idea of how this is connected to the imagination of children, right? It had a very warm orange glow to the entire first bit of the book, and then it goes right back to it. And I know this book has a lot of lull moments at times, but that kind of started, and then the way it shifted straight into like the last half of this book, or the last third, was just Erica being badass and just slaying some monsters. Like, I loved it. I thought that was great.
What do you think about that one guy's idea? He's like, I'm just gonna say I did it. I killed his kids. Like those guys don't know what's going on, Well,
but that's the whole point, is that they're only like, the whole house of slaughter or whatever, they're there to kill. They're going to kill everybody to keep this a secret. And so this is this. I mean, we've seen this in stories before, where somebody has to sacrifice their honor, like we know it's kind of like at the end of Dark Knight, and it's like, he's going to take the fall because someone has to, and all that kind of thing. So I think it's a cool idea, but I don't think it's really going to pan out, because I think a lot of the House of Slaughter are going to get slaughtered pretty soon, because of they're shown with so much hubris that I feel like a lot of them are going to get got pretty quickly, because they're going to be in over their heads, because I think there's even more going on out there, because there's no way that Boom and Tynion don't want this to now even stretch further than they probably ever thought it would. So
I had someone leave a comment yesterday. They said, is now a good time to jump on Something Is Killing the Children? And I'm going to put that question to you. Is something, what would be a good, obviously, if you can't go back and get issue number 1, where would you start this next story arc to jump in it? You know, and besides, I told him to go get trades, you know, go trades it out until you get caught up and stuff like that. But if they didn't do that, what do you think would be an issue to jump on and start?
Well, first of all, before I answer your actual question, let me just reiterate what you already told him, was that he should just get the trades.
Yeah,
now's the best time to do that, because literally Diamond, they come in and out of print like that. So like they just came back in print this week. So now is the restock. So now's the time to get caught up on the trades, because nothing's more frustrating. They're going to your comic shop and they're like, yeah, we're sold out. We can't get any more for like months until they do a new printing. Right. So that's the best thing. Other than that, start in at the beginning of the next arc. That's the best thing. Right. And how did me and you start reading comics, Bueller? We just jumped in, you know, when I started reading 100 Bullets, for instance, they were on like issue 15 or something. So it was like near the beginning of a new story, and trades weren't very common back in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, you could find some of them. There were trades for that, but I just jumped in. My first Hellboy book, I just jumped in. I bought one random Hellboy book and I felt confused, but there was something compelling about it. Now, there may be, when you're younger, that's more something that you're going to be into, you know, that you have this fascination with it. But if you just want to jump in and start collecting it issue to issue, which I wouldn't recommend at this point, I would just recommend most people get caught up in trade and then follow along if you want.
Sure.
Because now everybody's caught on. So I don't think any books, if this ever becomes a big series or anything, like there's not going to be many books from this point forward that are going to be as rare as the first 10, right? But just jump in, and you may be lost, but that's okay, because that's used to be how just comic books were. You know, they didn't care so much. They always felt like this could be somebody's first comic, and obviously Something Is Killing the Children is not written for that. If you read this new issue, I don't know what you would think of it if you never exactly. So you got to read the trades. The cool thing is, go to Comixology, and a lot of that stuff, if you have a Comixology subscription, a lot of the first trades will be free, so you can at least check out the very beginning of it for free. See if it's something you really want to commit to.
There you go.
But just jump in.
Yeah,
that's what we did, Bueller. Like what
we jumped in.
If you ask somebody back in like the 80s, where do I start with Hulk? They just be like, the new issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Dope.
See, that's why Robbie knows his stuff. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
Well, it is what it is. So you're not reading a lot of Future State. I think you read Swamp Thing.
I've only read one. I read one. Guess what it is?
Swamp Thing?
Yeah, that was it.
Do you like it? Yeah, you liked it.
I thought it was great. I thought it was the Rom V guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
And you know,
he's the writer of the year, bro.
Yeah, I think really looking forward to that Radio Apocalypse one. That's going to be awesome. That should you guys should pay attention to that book. It's going to be hot. Trust me.
It's going to be super good. And he's got another one from Boom in the same month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's called like the many deaths of something. It's about like the goddess of death in Mumbai, India.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I think very cool. I like his stuff. So I like he's doing the Swamp Thing, and he's doing the next one, isn't he? Isn't he doing because this Swamp Thing Future State is only 2 issues, and then there's going to be another Swamp Thing. I think he's doing that as well, right? Yeah,
it's set up to be a 10-issue series. With more, if it sells well, they'll do like a second volume. But it's him and Mike Perkins, the exact same team, and they're actually bringing in a new host for the Swamp Thing for the first time in a long time. So I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. I think issue 2 is next week. Yeah. That's the only Future State book I'm going to get. I mean, I looked at Suicide Squad a little bit today, but it didn't grab me. So I think that's all I'm getting. But man, I think I said this on one of my other videos. My shop has ordered so many of these books. They have so many. I mean, it's just overdone. They're going to be sitting there in a couple months when they do their $1 sale, and I'll just pick them all up then. So I mean, the $9 Batman books, those will all be $1, and because all they do after 2 months they do a sale, and every book $9.99 and under is $1 from cover price.
Is that TIFA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait, and I'll just get whatever I've heard that was decent. I'll just pick them up then, and then
Dark Detective. Aquaman this week was really solid for me.
Yeah.
But the Wonder Woman one's been really good. Like just the Yara Flor one, that I really like that one too.
Was that you said the Lex Luthor Superman one was pretty good, but there was another Superman that came out maybe last week, and it was like he was on chains or something like that.
Yeah.
Was that any good?
I really liked the Superman story in that, but the other 3 stories I thought were rather weak. It's definitely worth $1 though if it pops up for you.
Man, I hate these. I hate the multiple story things.
I do too, man. I really do.
I want if I want a Batman book, okay, and I'm gonna spend $9 or whatever, $8 on a Batman book. I want to read a Batman story. I don't want to read 4 different stories. I want that Batman story to be the whole thing. You know, the Venom 300 is a $10 book when that comes out.
Yeah,
that better be a full Venom thing all the way through. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe something in the end. You know, whatever they're going to do next, what Donny Cates and Stegman want to do. So maybe they put some at the end of that book for that. But, you know, if I spend $10 on a book, you know, that better be a full Venom story, not like 4 different ones or something, you know?
Yeah. I don't like the idea. Okay. I don't mind the idea of an anthology. Like my pick of the week was this Batman Black and White. This was amazing. Just 5 really solid short Batman stories that were different, that were unique. That were
they're all Batman stories, though, right?
And they're all Batman.
Yeah, that's all right.
But it's all Batman. That's cool. I hate it when it's like, no, I just want to buy Superman. I just want to buy Batman. So it's not going to be as obnoxious post Future State because there aren't going to be any $8 ones with like a bunch of stuff. They're basically shoving in all these concepts they had developed for 5G into this like 2-month period, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess rather than flood the market with nobody's going to buy the Mr. Miracle, but we'll just shove it in the end of Superman and take advantage of the people that buy just Superman books, right? And that's what they're doing with Batman. At least the Batman backups involve the Bat family, but the Superman backups all involve like, okay, Mr. Miracle, the Guardian, I get, but like a lot of people don't understand the Jack Kirby connection to Superman because it was such a brief era in the 70s. But anyway.
Like the Suicide Squad, the backup story was Black Adam.
Yeah, that's just basically a 2-for-1, you know? And I guess they thought that most people that would dig Suicide Squad would dig a Black Adam story. I guess, you know.
They don't really fit that well.
Yeah, you know. But at least with Dark Detective, the backup story was Red Hood. But post Future State, it's not going to be as obnoxious because like Batman's going to be $1 more, and so is Superman. They're going to have backup stories, but the backup stories are going to be like family-oriented stories. Yeah, like the Batman ones will start with a Damian story that leads into his new ongoing Robin book, which is, you know, you're reading Batman and you're like, well, whatever. We've already proved to them that we'll pay $1 more just for a cardstock cover. So adding the pages. And their idea is that people read Batman, they're going to read this Damian story, and then they'll check out the first few issues of Robin, right? So they're going to be doing that with Batman and Superman, probably Wonder Woman at some point.
I think they're doing Justice League.
And Justice League, because that's Ron V has been doing a great job on Justice League Dark, and it's a fan favorite. But the only way to get it now is 10 pages at a time by buying Brian Michael Bendis' Justice League book.
Isn't that how they broke up that digital Harley Quinn series that they put only digital? They only did 10 pages at a time, and they released it. And it sounds like they're kind of adopting that format for these bonus stories.
Yeah, because then they can package that on its own, right? As its own $1 chapter online or whatever. And they can also collect it digitally or in print on its own. And I've heard that like the next Batman is being collected just in like a $20 hardcover with just the next Batman stuff in it and not all the other stuff, I think. Yeah. So they are thinking DC has always had enormous success, more so than Marvel, on the bookshelves at bookstores because of titles like Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, Sandman, Preacher, all that Vertigo stuff. they've always, so they're looking towards that. And right now, like all those silly little like young adult and all ages graphic novels that come out every week that most of us just kind of skim over, they sell like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so I think a lot of us in the community don't quite understand that. And understanding that will help you at least understand a little bit why DC's doing a little bit more of what they're doing. But at the same time, making you pay more for pages you don't want just because they know you're going to buy a Batman book's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think Batman is really going to be the only book on my pull list when it comes back, because I'm not doing any of the new stuff. I might have probably the Swamp Thing on there, but after right now, I don't have anything coming. I have Deceased was my last DC book.
Are you gonna? Okay, well, so I know you love Deceased. Do you like Tom? And you seem to like Tom Taylor. I think you fell out of Seven Secrets, though, right?
I don't think I ever got those.
You read the first two of Seven Secrets. I remember you read those.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. I just took me a minute to realize. Yeah, I remember the first two. I read the first two because they sent them to me.
Yeah, I got you.
I read them and I liked them, but they literally sent them to me like 3 months before it came out.
I mean, yeah, I got to, and you're when they come out, you're trying to remember. Yeah, it was good. It was about Seven Secrets.
Yeah, so it's like they sent it to me like 3 months before it hit the first two issues, and then issue 3 came out 2 months after 1 and 2 came out. So literally 5 months in between the first ones I read and when number 3 came out. So I was like, I was over it. You know, I just like, I didn't want to go back and read it, you know, again and stuff because it'd been so long. But I enjoyed the first 2.
So I was basically just trying to set up to ask you, are you interested in checking out the 6-issue series he's doing with Andy Kubert, Batman: The Dark Knight? It's a Batman set and a different continuity because, you know, it's like an Elseworlds thing because that.
Yeah, more like,
yeah. The only thing Death Metal did was they were just like, well, we can do more Elseworlds thing. We just don't feel the need to say it's set on this Earth.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What is an aged Batman in London or whatever?
Yeah, I saw that. That one looks kind of interesting. I'll probably pick up that one. I was actually going to pick up Batman Black and White today because of what you said. Because I have number 1 because I bought the blank cover to get signed and stuff. But when I picked up number 2 and it was like $5.99, I didn't buy it.
Yeah, for me though, I loved every single one of these stories, and the artists are using the black and white format. Like this last one is all done like 1940s newspaper strips.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so freaking good. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I like anthologies when they're interesting. I'm very interested in checking out the Superman one they're doing, the red and blue one or whatever. Because I like the Wolverine one that they're doing, the black, white, and blood or whatever. Yeah. So,
they had a bunch of that number 2 at the shop, so I know that they'll have a bunch left over in a couple months. So
you got it made with Tefal like that. You just know anything they over order is going to wind up being. I wonder if at times they just go, man, people are waiting for these to hit the dollars.
I don't think a lot of people. I think honestly, when their stuff hits the dollar, I think I clear out a nice percentage of the stuff that they sell. Like their Batman, the 3 Jokers all went to $1.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, I'll take them all. I'll take every one of those things for $1, And so I cleaned them up. I took all of them and stuff. So
I'll play every single 3 Jokers you have.
Yeah. I do it all the time, man. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That sounds good. I'll take them all.
Hell yeah.
How much is this? Oh, they have their grab bags, and they finally got their grab bags back, which is 10 books, and they're normally $4.99 for a bag. And for some reason, they're half off right now because they never changed the price when they were doing a sale a few months back when one of their stores was moving.
Uh-huh.
And so they're $2.50, and then I get my 25% off, so like $1.80 for a 10-pack of brand new books. And I'm like, they're like, oh, the guy rings me up. And I'm like, oh, I don't think you're ringing up right because it was like $6 for 3 of them. I was like ready for $15.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, no, they're on sale and stuff. I go, they are? He goes, yeah. I go, I'll take them all. I just go grab stacks of them. Like 40 of them. So, well, I care. I just take that stuff for hardly nothing,
Oh, no kidding. Man, if you ever made it to my shop, I've always imagined, I was like, Bueller would sit here for hours going through our 50-cent, quarter, and dollar bins. Just all of our back stock, which is the majority of the middle of the floor. It's a lot, you know, for a lot of shops. They have smaller ones or whatever, and we have more in the warehouse too. But for every box, there's another box below it of like dollar comics or 25-cent comics, things like that. We buy a collection. Say we bring in a collection. We're like, oh, these 5 books are what we want, but there's like 40 long boxes. Well, most of that just winds up in the dollar bin. And there's all kinds of great, like I wind up buying a lot of dollar books from because I'm just like, this is great. Cause we already have like 50 copies of this in the warehouse. So just put a dollar sticker on it. And then other people are coming in, filling in their gaps and all kinds of fun stuff, man. Dollar hunting is I don't see a lot of the younger generation, like people in their 20s and early 30s doing it. It's mostly like 40-year-olds, like 30s and 40s, 50s, you know, like we're the ones that are the dollar bin hunters, you know?
Yeah, I went to a shop here a couple months back, and it's not really a shop, it's more of an antique store, but they have a pretty decent amount of comic books as well. They don't do anything new, but they probably got about 20 short boxes of stuff behind the counter, and then we probably got about 10 long boxes of just 50-cent stuff, you know, they put out. And they must have bought some collection of independent books, because I found like 2 long boxes of just random Image independent books, you know, and they were like 1 through 5, 1 through 8, all this stuff. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. And I'm just going through, and I pulled out every single number 1, because like I say on independent books, all you need is the first issue, as far as if any of them ever make any money.
Yeah, right.
So I bought like 50 books and stuff, you know. So, and every one of them was a number 1. So if anyone goes in there to get any of these books, they're all going to start with number 2.
I remember watching one of your haul videos where you were showing those off. Yeah. And I was like, you actually got some really good ones in there. That's the thing. You're right, though. I have people that are like, I just want every number 1 of every Image and Boom book.
Yeah.
Like every number 1. That's it.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not, you know, it's a low investment, $3-4, you know, or whatnot. And you get a good book, and you get a new story to read that's worth it. And then if it ever becomes something of that book, you know, you can make a little bit of money, and you're not spending a lot. You know, if you're buying a book at cover price, you're paying exactly what you should be paying.
Absolutely. My find of the week, was this Biker Mice from Mars #1 from Marvel Comics. That I got for $1, which is 50 cents less than cover price. So
that's awesome, man.
I was really happy, and this is going to be the subject of Marvel in the 90s for Sunday night, because it's just 1 issue, and that's all I have. And
that's all you need.
That's all you need sometimes. I love stuff like this. You know, like I'm trying to collect all the Marvel Kid and Play books. They're harder to find than I anticipated. I almost beat Jim Nett on Comic with that.
Mine is the Marvel Sledgehammer. Remember the Sledgehammer television show?
No.
Oh man. Oh, you might be a little young for that one. But Sledgehammer.
Maybe. I'm not too much younger, old man.
Sledgehammer was a really fun show. It was a comedy. It was just really campy and stuff like that. And Marvel made a few books about it and stuff. I think I have the first 3, and that might be all of them.
Oh my God. I just had memories pop up, man. I know what you're talking about.
He had his gun, you know, he had a big gun and everything.
Yeah, it's that dude that's in all those fucking movies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was kind of like Sledgehammer was on right before Max Headroom or something like that. You know, it was kind of like the NBC comedy block or whatever it was. So
yeah, man. Oh my goodness. You're taking us back, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love all that random stuff, man. Silverhawks. I got some of those comics. I got the entire Mask series. Marvel did a lot of like licensed properties back in the day.
Shooter was doing all that, man.
Yeah, Jim Shooter was like, hell yeah, we can make money.
He was licensing. He told me about that. He's like, anything I could do to license things, we were doing them. Care Bears, you name it, man. They
got Heathcliff comics, man.
Huh?
They got Heathcliff comics, man.
Oh yeah, he would do anything.
He's I got to meet him at the a con here a couple years ago. He's coming back this year in April, so I'm really excited for that.
Oh,
what?
That's awesome.
I'm really excited.
You need to come. You need to come over here, buddy.
Yeah, man. I want to do that this year. It's a goal. We'll see if it happens. Obviously, some things have got to change.
What does that mean? Some things have got to change.
Well, I mean, like if I got vaccinated, I'd be more likely to want to travel across country right now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I literally have been just kind of doing my work, grocery store, home thing for almost a year now, man.
It's kind of sad when you say that loud.
That's why I'm on YouTube every night.
There you go, man. Yeah, we don't do much anymore.
I mean, the arcades are open, but I don't trust the people that go there. I know my town. I know the people here. I don't trust anybody. Did you read anything else this week, Bueller?
Let me see. I got my pile of books right here.
I'm glad we started talking about Spawn, because when I started becoming a Spawn fan, which was almost a year ago now, I'm having so much fun. And we were talking about just jumping in. That's what I had to do with Spawn. And I'm sure Bueller did it too. I'm sure Bueller hasn't read every issue of Spawn. You just jump in. Yeah, I've been confused for 10 issues, but now it's starting to like piece together. I get it. Okay, he did something crazy to defeat the clown, opened up this rift, and all these other Spawn have come out, and so now it's like the Spawn verse. Okay, I dig it. Let's go along for the ride, and that's what it is.
I think you can jump on Spawn right now, 300.
Yeah,
and pretty much go from 300 on up, and you'll be just fine.
Bro, do you read Savage Avengers, by the way?
I have in the past, but Punisher's not in the book anymore. And that's he was. I think the last one I read was 2 issues ago when he was in there, when him and Wolverine were just killing people and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's a fun book.
Yeah, dude. I think it's been described in the PCP Army, and I've adopted this as the Roadhouse of Marvel Comics right now.
That's awesome.
It is, and this one is okay. So this one, it's a Deadpool team up with Conan during King in Black. And Conan and Deadpool wind up arrested, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out. And Deadpool's like, well, the guards got the keys. So Conan literally shoves Deadpool through the prison bars, because he's like, you can heal any wound. And he goes, yeah. So he just shoves him through the damn prison bars, completely crushing his skeleton and everything, and just waits for him to heal to steal the fucking guards. This Conan in the Marvel Universe sounds like the worst idea ever, but it really is awesome. Hey, Jay Nunya with the super chat. I get this question a lot. You gonna get any of the Bad Idea comics? Only if they send them to me, because you can't find them. And if they wanted me to cover them, they'd have to send them to me digitally or in person, because we don't stock them. I mean, isn't that place that only does like deals with like 100 shops or something? Yeah. I think they knew it was a bad idea. What do you think about that, Bueller?
They might have already sent them to me. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
You get too much stuff now, it just falls through?
A little bit, to be honest. I mean,
that happens to me, man. I feel bad.
A lot of Kickstarter stuff, and it's just like I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. I'm not really up to date on that type of thing, to be honest. So I don't really know much about it and how it works. So maybe I'm just a little behind the times.
That's a whole new thing, man. A whole new market is the Kickstarter indie zone, is like a whole thing. And it's its own self-perpetuating entity in the industry.
I mean, I'll tell you this, man, that Frank Gogol guy, he emailed me like 10 times. I never responded. Finally, he saw me live something, and he just said, hey, do this. I was like, okay, sorry, man.
I feel bad because that happens, man. And I'll have people that I want to have on the show, and then because I don't know how many people know this, but like me and Bueller will get messages, say on like Instagram or Facebook, they go into a different folder, right? Of like where we have to go in there and approve messages because we're not following them or something. Yeah. And I hardly ever check that shit. And I'll check and I'll be like, oh my God, he reached out to me. Like I looked on our Facebook page one time, which you can find me on the PCP Army, but as far as the actual Pop Culture Philosophers page, I hardly ever do anything with that, right? So I looked in there one time and I was all sad. I was like, man, there's this new horror documentary out, In Search of Darkness Part 2, and it's only available to those who like did the pre-sale, and I just want to watch it so bad. And I went in and I saw these messages I missed, and one of them were from the people that did that show wanting to be on the show. Yeah. So like they could have been on the show. I'm sure they would have given me like a digital copy. God.
Well, I'll tell you, I got an email like last month from Image Comics, and they literally were replying to my email I sent them 10 months ago about signing up for their, as far as the review copies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Took them 10 months to get back to me. They're like, we're sorry. We wanted to work with you earlier. I'm like, okay. So I was like, sounds good. I talked to the lady and I'm all good to go with Image Comics now and stuff like that. But literally I'm like, man, I go, when was this? And I look it up and it was literally from like April of last year when I sent a contact email to them. So, but hey, I'll take Image Comics now. I got that new one. They sent me a couple copies of they're doing like a superhero book.
Radiant Black?
Yes.
Kyle Higgins.
Yeah, number 1 and 2. So I got to read those. And that was interesting.
Were they good? I haven't read them yet. It's supposed to be very Power Rangers-esque.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what it is. And I think that there's really how the guy kind of gets his power, it's kind of like, oh, if you just have a bad day, you get some superpowers, I guess. I mean, it's like, damn, I've had a few of those. But I thought that was, I thought that was a little weak, to be honest, how they did that. But it's really early, as far as telling that story. But it was okay. But I do see a very similarity to somewhat the Power Rangers as far as the art style and the outfit design and stuff like that. So
I think Higgins at this point, because Kyle Higgins is a really talented writer who came up with Scott Snyder, but never blew up like Scott Snyder. Right. And I think he now knows where his wheelhouse is. And he's like, the most successful comic I've ever done has been Power Rangers. Yeah. Right. So he's like, let's do that, create our own. Cause he's had a lot of attempts to start his own property. And I don't think they've really quite captured an audience. And I think this one will, because I've already seen a lot of hype for it. A lot of people asking about it. So I'm happy for him. His best work for me was this reimagining he did of Magnus for Dynamite like several years ago. That was just amazing, but it was only like 5 issues with Jorge Fornes. But it was kind of like the Matrix meets Blade Runner. It was a really cool concept.
I saw Brett Hess is in the chat here just a little bit ago.
Brett, we got your book here.
There you go. That's the artist himself.
Yeah, on Monday apparently is when a bunch of us got them in because everybody in the PCP Army started sharing them. So I appreciate the support. That's awesome.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people that showed them off. I thought that was great. Yeah,
great community, man. Supporting one another. Did you get a chance to read this yet? I know you didn't read it for your coffee video.
Nope, I never even saw a copy of it. My LCS didn't get it. They didn't get Kaiju Score either, so I missed out on that one.
Why did they not support? That's weird. Like Aftershock in particular, or do you have a problem with the lower indies there, like say like Source Point or
I know they
Scout, Vault?
If they're not on the pull list, then you're not going to get them.
Wow.
It's main. Honestly, you get the Marvel, DC, Image, and Boom books, and Dark Horse. Obviously, you get your pick at Dark Horse. But that's it. Everything else, if it's not on your pull list, it's probably not on the shelf.
That's crazy as hell, man. Yeah. Like we sold out of the Source Point stuff today because we don't obviously buy as many of that as other things. But like Vault Comics right now, every single Vault comic to every comic book retailer is returnable.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for any store not to take a chance on a new Vault book, right? Which a lot of us here in the PCP Army know are some of the best comics out there are from Vault. Source Point had 2 amazing books this week. Dead End Kids and The Eighth Immortal. Did you get a chance to check that one out?
No, that wasn't there.
That one was really good. I think you would like that.
Yeah, I know that Bob gets advanced copies of Vault stuff. And so as far as like the preview copy. So I can always go to Bob to get those. But the Aftershock ones, I don't know why I don't get preview copies of those. Normally the Aftershock ones I get are through the writers or something. They'll send them to me.
Yeah.
But as far as, and I didn't even get an advanced copy of Knock 'Em Dead. And hell, I made an exclusive with that.
Yeah, no shit. No kidding, man.
I never even got an advanced
copy.
It actually showed up.
Yeah, all my advanced copies I get come pretty much directly from the creators, except for Mad Cave and Scout. They send me Like I'm on a list and I get a lot of stuff from them. Scout's got some good stuff coming out, and so does Mad Cave. But Vault, I get pretty much. I'm like, there's not a list where I get everything, but like I get stuff directly from the creators or from Adrian sometimes. So that's really, really cool. But like, yeah, I got an early look at I Breathe the Body from Zach. Yeah, and cool. Zach knows we support him here at the channel, and he gave me a chance. And I actually got to read the first 2 issues of this. And I've seen a lot of people confused by the first issue, and I get that. So was I, but I had the opportunity to read 1 and 2 back to back, and 2, y'all, is the craziest shit I've ever seen in a comic for a while. Like, it's wild. Fable's like, look at these guys flexing.
Jay Nyanya said Vault kind of lost its momentum, but I'm looking forward to Radio Apocalypse.
I agree. I think Vault lost its momentum. I think the shutdown affected that, but during all of this, Wasted Space has continued to be published. They've done some really solid works. I think Bleed Them Dry was okay, but it kind of fizzled out for me. I'm really liking Shadow Service, and I'm digging Engine Ward, but it hasn't been as hype as it was last year. And I think the biggest part of that is because of the White Noise crew: Alex Packendale, Ryan O'Sullivan, Dan Waters, and Rom V. Last year or 2 years ago, they had The Savage Shores, Friendo, Deep Roots, and Fearscape, all from those 4. Now we've got books again from all 4 of those cats. Picture of Everything Else, Giga, A Dark Interlude, which is the sequel to Fearscape, and now Radio Apocalypse. So now Vault is about to be jumping again, and they've brought in people like, they've announced so many great creators. Pete Milligan's doing a book with them. DB Andrews doing another book with them. Michael Morisi's got another book with them, post-plot. I'm so freaking excited. I think Vault's going to have a hell of a 2021.
Yeah. Radio Apocalypse, I'm telling everyone right now, that's going to be the one to get.
Dude, the radio station at the end of the world. What a cool concept, right? Did you get a chance to read Blue and Green yet?
No, but wasn't that like your number 1 book?
Yeah, and it's the exact same creative team.
Yeah. Who did that?
Image
did that. Was it a trade or what?
Yeah, it's a graphic novel.
Okay.
Just a one and done graphic novel. I think it's like $18-20, but it's one complete story. It's really good. It's kind of like a jazz inspired Hellraiser almost in a way, but not quite Hellraiser. Like there's no kind of, it's really good. It's creepy, but what's brilliant to me about it is that the artist is Anand RK, right? So both him and Ram were trying to capture the feeling of jazz music in a comic book. And I think they did it. Like there's a lot of imagery of like the turntable and things spinning. And then at times like jazz music can be very structured and then go into like improvisation and stuff. The layouts do that. They're very structured at times, and then they get very free fluid forming kind of stuff. And Radio Apocalypse is apparently trying to do the same thing of bringing in the feel of music to the comic book page. And I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I agree. Be on the lookout for that one.
I'm glad you're excited about that one, brother.
Yeah. Well, there's probably a reason.
Have you read it already?
No.
What's the reason? Oh, do you? Oh, I want one right now. Sign me up. Sign me up.
I don't know what you're talking about,
I
Robbie.
got the last one. I want this one.
You're getting your little prize package has it in there. I need to get your address.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I thought it was funny because you keep telling me it's in the mail, and I'm like, does he have my address? So every day, like, I'm like, oh, there's a package. What is it? Oh, it's just Star Trek books. I forgot I ordered those. Yeah, I'll send you my address.
There you go.
Nice. Oh, no. I know what you're talking about. I'm very excited. I hope you get an early look at that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
If not, just holler at Bob. Is there anything else that you read this week, by the way?
Well, I read the Daredevil.
What'd you think about that?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought as far as the tie-in to the King in Black, it actually did a little bit, I guess, but that's kind of what they're all doing, a little bit of, the people show up and they have to fight them off or whatnot, and I like that, like I spoiled it, but Daredevil he turns into one of the creatures or whatnot. So how Elektra. I'm assuming Elektra will be the one to face them or something. That's probably what that's going to lead to. Elektra versus Daredevil nullified or whatever. So that should be kind of cool. I like that. I thought it was pretty good.
You're definitely going to get more Typhoid versus Elektra.
Yeah.
Chick fight. Zdarsky knows what he's doing.
Yep. I read this one as well. Wolverine number 9.
Oh, what'd you think about that?
I like Patch. I thought that was pretty. He looks so small. They really drew him to scale when he goes into the banquet with all these people and stuff. And somebody asked me, they go, how did they get his hand in the first place? And I go, I don't know. But
he doesn't even remember, does he?
He doesn't even know either. But apparently they have his, as you can see on the cover, his hand is up for auction. And, sells for like millions of dollars and stuff. But I thought it was kind of cool. It kind of had a little Joe Fix-It vibe to it, as well and stuff like that. But it was fun. I've been kind of up and down on this series so far, but this was a fun issue. So, but like I think you said, maybe it was you or someone else said, how did nobody recognize him? In there.
I've always wondered that.
Yeah. So I was like,
he puts on an eye patch.
Exactly. So.
And if you read the initial start of that Wolverine ongoing from '87, the Claremont Buscema stuff, right? Which I loved that stuff when I was a kid. I ate that up when I was like 7, 8 years old, right? And so he would go to Madripoor and he would put on this patch and slick back his hair. And nobody knew it was Wolverine.
Yeah.
Even though he's been fighting every person in Madripoor, he knows everybody there, but they don't know it's him. And then when he is trying to go out and do things stealthily, he's not trying to be Wolverine. So he just puts this like mesh mask on. Like, what is that?
It doesn't look much, man.
Do you remember the comic What the?
Yeah. That was
like the humor magazine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to love it. There's this one I have that's like I've had it since I was a kid, and Wolverine is aping on that stuff. And Wolverine pulls off his mask, and someone's like, "Wow, your hair looks exactly like your mask." He's like, "Yeah." Then he takes off his boots, and his leg hair looks like the fins, and they're like, "Whoa!" It's just like the craziest stuff.
Well, here, I'll take my hat off and my glasses. I mean, come on. Who's that guy? If I took my vest off, I'd look like a predator. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus. We would be like, what? I do like the goatee, though. I think that's rather distinguished, I should say.
Well, I finally shaved the Joe Dirt sides and stuff and just kept the goatee because I can't grow nothing, I guess. So whatever.
Can't get the sides?
No, I tried. I took a break for years. Maybe I grew some hair follicle holes or whatever you call them. Nope, it's still the same crap.
Sometimes you got to give it a month, man. Like I never thought
2 months.
Okay, never mind.
I really didn't shave until last week for like 2 months. That's all there was. This is it. Right. This is 2 months right here.
That's 2 months?
Yeah.
Man.
Exactly.
Do you cut the crust off of your bread?
No.
They always told me you eat the crust on your bread when I was a kid. It'd give you a beard and chest hair. And I was like, is that a good thing? Chest hair?
I don't have any chest hair either, man.
I have chest hair. I was looking at old photos on a friend's Facebook.
Well, let's change the subject. I don't want to talk about your chest hair, Robbie. Give me a break. We started eating chalupas, and now we're on the chest hair.
Is there anything? Okay, Daredevil I thought was pretty solid.
Video, chest hair.
Next week, it's going to be me and somebody else, and all we're doing is just talking about chest hair and comics.
Next week, how many times do you get up to go pee during the night? That's a great one. Yeah.
It's funny. It doesn't happen sometimes. Like, it's crazy on these kind of shows, or like tomorrow night with DB, it probably won't happen. But I don't know. If I'm sitting here with Dylan, I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to go piss. Bye. Anything else you read you want to talk about before we wrap up?
I know I read some stuff, but I'm kind of drawn.
Did you read Strange Academy?
No, I didn't read that one.
Any X-Men book other than Wolverine?
I didn't read X-Men, but I flipped through it and stuff. I don't know what your problem was on that. I thought it looked awesome.
Well, I'm not a Brett Booth fan.
I know you aren't. I saw your review. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Here for one, they're in the old X Factor uniforms, which you acknowledge and you liked. But man, I just thought I was looking at Jim Lee stuff there for a minute.
Yeah, well, Brett Booth always was like a poor man's Jim Lee, right?
Well, a poor man's Jim Lee It's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all.
It's okay. I'm not the biggest Brett Booth fan, but there are times where I like his work. I just felt like this one felt a little sloppy, a little rushed. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of glanced through that one. Like I said, I didn't have any DC books.
Did you read that one, or did you just was that just a cover by?
No, I read that one. I read the first story.
The best one to me was the last one because I really liked the art on that weird thing.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the first part. It's kind of its own little world, with the the thing is I haven't read any of the other ones. So
they're all their own little things. They're all just kind of throwaway stories, but
I love the cover. I thought the cover was just awesome, and I was like, man, that's a cool looking book.
It's like Alex Ross is telling Rob Liefeld, "This is how you do it, homie."
Yeah, and the way he uses color on that palette too.
Yeah, it's very 90s.
Maybe a little more brighter than he normally does.
Yeah, dude, I love it. It's an X-Force cover, man.
Yeah,
but and it's straight up Jim Lee. Like, look, like he wouldn't normally do a Deadpool like that. That's not an Alex Ross Deadpool. That's a Rob Liefeld Deadpool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. I thought that was.
I didn't buy it though because it was $5.
You gonna wait till it's $1? Nice.
I'm really stuck on that $3.99. I did spend $4.99 today on a Spawn on this one, and I didn't even know I did. So apparently that's the 1 in 5 or something like that.
Yeah, they charge you extra for that.
Yeah, and well, I mean.
We don't charge.
I have a thing on my thing, all Spawn covers, because I just, I'm just there. I want to do my part to help support Spawn and the $2.99 price point.
Yeah, right.
So this one was $4.99, but I got my discount, so it was like $3 after the discount. So, but I got all 4 of those. I thought that was pretty cool.
Damn. At our shop, we don't charge the people that pre-order like all variants. We don't charge extra for those covers.
I didn't even know this one was in there. I didn't even know about this one. I thought it was
a great cover, isn't it? Did you see the sketch one that was like an incentive? It was like a 1 in, I don't know, like a 50 or 100 or something. It's like a looser version of that.
Yeah, those ones I tell them I don't want. So I just want the regular ones or apparently the 1 in 5s or whatnot. But they'll put all of them in my box and stuff to make sure I have.
If there's a Capullo or a McFarlane cover, that's the one I get because I've been buying Spawn for a year now because I'm a Spawn fan. I just jumped in. That's what you do. Yeah.
I'm supposed to read the Amazing Spider-Man book, but I don't want to read it.
It's okay.
It's not okay, dude. It's dumb. It's dumb.
I got criticized on my criticism because they said that I didn't have any valid points in my criticism. I was just saying that I don't like it. No, I don't like it because it's drawn out, dull, and boring. And it's a Spider-Man book. It should be exciting. It should be fun. I should be enticed to read it. It's their flagship freaking book. And it's just dull and boring. And it's just been like I said, this makes Spawn seem like it's got a fast pace with its plot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, in case you don't know. So
yeah, I'm supposed to read that one, but I don't want
to. Why are you supposed to?
Because I was supposed to do a review on it on the coffee video.
Mentioned it on your, was it good?
Yeah, so I got to read it. But, I mean, I already glanced through it. I was like, man, this looks just as crappy as the last one did. And then I watched your review, and I love the one that you said the one before. The one before, they're like, what's going on? And you're like, that's exactly how I feel reading this stuff.
Yeah.
They're saying it during the book.
Peter literally comes up and they come up like all the other spider people and they ask him like, what's happened, Peter? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, me fucking neither.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. I'll end up reading it here in a little bit, but
let's wrap up with a nice question here. What do you think Donnie's next Marvel project will be?
Hulk. I'm going Hulk. I'm going left field. I'm saying, we talked about a little bit on the coffee video, and I made an Instagram post about a week or so ago. Hulk is coming to an end at 50, Immortal Hulk or whatnot. So we're a couple months away from that. Donnie Cates is obviously coming to an end with Venom and stuff. And I'm kind of looking at like, what's a sandbox he hasn't really played in yet, and that would be kind of cool. I think an Incredible Hulk book with him doing that, with the whole Hulk sandbox, whatever he can do in there and kind of combine that with Thor because he's going to be on Thor for a while.
Yeah.
and maybe do some cosmic thing with Hulk. I think that would be pretty cool. I think the easy answer is Amazing Spider-Man. But there's like I said, there's also another Spider-Man book coming out, like All-Star Spider-Man or something like that. There's another Spider-Man ongoing book that's coming out that's about Peter Parker.
Nonstop.
There you go. Nonstop. There you go. I don't think he wants to be on a title where there's other versions of that character being done. I mean, he's not going to want to do Venom and then somebody does another Venom Ultimate, on the side. He wants it all to himself.
The sensational Venom.
Yeah. So I think that Hulk, I'm going with Hulk. I think that would be kind of cool. I think you'd have a lot of fun with that. And I don't, like I said, I don't have any inside information. This is just something I was thinking about. Two things that are coming to an end. And I don't think Marvel is going to go without there being a Hulk book out there, for too long. And I think it'd be pretty cool. So
that's a really good pick, because I also think that would be a good thing for Stegman to jump to. Stegman hasn't done Hulk, because you can think about Amazing Spider-Man, as much as that would be cool. And as much as we know that Donny Cates loves Spidey, right? Stegman's done Spidey. He's already done his stamp on Superior Spider-Man. I think he's kind of done with it, right? Yeah. Donny isn't going anywhere down, right? So you start with things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange and Thanos, and then you move up to, Venom, and then you move up to Thor. There's, so it's got to be a flagship thing if it's going to be him. If Stegman's involved, though, I do hear rumors that they're doing something creator-owned together, which obviously Donnie's nearing a point where he's ready to do that. And maybe you can obviously tell from the teases in Thor that he's leading into his next big event, right? With Thanos, with the Death Gauntlet or whatever, the Death Gem is whatever's going on there. So he's got plans there. A book like Hulk would be perfect for that, and perfect for Stegman, especially with how do you follow up a very successful, albeit inconsistent run of Immortal Hulk, right? But for the most part, it's built up a lot of hype. Sure. How do you follow that up, Donny Cates? We've never heard of any Hulk ideas that he's had, so I bet he's got some wild ones. Yeah. And I honestly don't believe that Marvel plans on kicking Spencer off of this book anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because even though a lot of people like it and a lot of people don't, it's still one of their biggest sellers because it's their flagship book. And if the sales are there, they're not going to make a change.
Yeah. No, I don't think they are either. And I also think that, Donnie working on Venom for so long, he never brought Spider-Man into the fray where he probably could have wrote him into that story. I'm sure nobody would have said, oh, no, you can't do that. Obviously it's in the same Spider universe or whatnot, and he never really did for the most part. So I think that I think something different is probably what he wants. And I think that would be a pretty big, it'd be fun, it'd just be a fun book to see what he can do with that, and I think it would be more traditional. Yeah. Incredible Hulk. I think they'd call it Incredible Hulk. It wouldn't be Immortal Hulk or nothing like that. Yeah. It would just be Incredible Hulk or whatever, and
if only he had a movie coming out, it'd be perfect.
There you go. It would be nice. That's my pick. I think that's that'd be kind of cool to see that.
This one is a weird stretch. I don't think this is the right book for Donnie. Definitely maybe Stegman, but definitely not for Donnie. But another run coming to an end is Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America run. So Captain America will soon be in need of a new creative team. Yeah. And I don't think Captain America's really been enticing people outside of the covers for a while. So
no. I don't think he would enjoy doing a Captain America, someone that's grounded like that.
He's too rock and roll for Cap, man, to be honest with you, I think. But unless he brought that rock and rollness to Cap, which could be cool, actually. Yeah. I mean, Chris Evans is only so much
Captain America, though.
Well, there's a little bit of rebel in him. I mean, look at Civil War. He was the resistance, right? Yeah. So he'll fight the power when it comes to it. Sometimes, I don't know.
Fight the power.
It's Flavor Flav, Chuck D, and Captain America by Donny Cates.
There you go.
ABCs. Anyway, that's tonight's show. Thank you guys so much. Station, everybody in the PCP Army. Bueller, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a treat and a pleasure chatting with you about comic books on New Comic Book Day. Anything you want to say finally about anything in general or what you got coming up?
Well, it's nice having dinner with you, Robbie. It's not exactly what I expected, but it was better than nothing, right? And it was nice hanging out with everyone in the chat as well. It was cool seeing Brett's book. I haven't really seen it. This is kind of my seeing it in person type thing, even though I'm not there in person. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I love talking comics, you know, and this is kind of what we do. So not bad at all.
That's right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the coffee, cannabis, chest hair, chalupa, and comic show coming soon. We're dipping out.